Hi folks, just a Dragon again, just a short video on mobile communications. This is one of my bug out vehicles. It's a 86 Toyota Land Cruiser, Troopy, built tough as nails. So what you see in front of you there is a 40 channel CB radio. It uses the same frequency channel allocation as the 40 channel CB radios in the United States. The type of radio we got in front of me there is a Uniden Grant, one of the old type radios, very good reputation, tough as nails, and an all-round good radio. I've had this one tuned and it works very well. I don't know whether you can hear it. That's channel 38, that's American operators there out of the US. I don't know exactly where. But I have picked up communications from the western states of the United States, California, Oregon and those places. One day here a few years ago when the skip was in, I was actually getting traffic out of Texas. On the home base station a few days ago I was getting traffic out of operators in Louisiana. So it works on the 11 metre band. This radio has single sideband, upper and lower sideband and AM capability. The microphone to the left there has a Roger beep built into it. I find this particularly useful when acknowledging a radio transmission, just to hit the button on the mic just to acknowledge the transmission. Or you can use it as a coding sequence, you know, 2 Roger beeps for whatever coding situation you've worked out, or that sort of thing. Of interest too is that when you set this on AM, you can use it as a primitive form of Morse code, because all it does is key up the carrier. Just hold it, your hand over the microphone so you don't get any audio modulation, and on AM just hit the key and it just keys up the carrier with no modulation. So it's a very primitive form of Morse. Further down I've also got a VHF radio, works up around about 174 megahertz. And to the left of it, just on the dash, on the driver position there, I've got a 40 channel UHF CB radio. And the thing is with these two radios here, the VHF ones and the UHF one, is that they're manually programmable. That means I can change the frequencies, channel allocation, that sort of thing, using the front panel buttons and programming within these radios. I don't need a laptop or software, any of that garbage, to reprogram these radios. We have used them extensively. Around this area, mobile phone reception is not that good, so it's far more reliable to work back to base stations. There's another one down the road, another member lives down the road here. Set up a base station there earlier this year. So again, yes, it's modern technology. I'm a firm believer in integrating modern technology with old skills and that sort of thing. And why not? I mean, if this gives you the advantage for the first few months, gives you a better chance of survival, why not use it? I missed that call sign. It's American, North Carolina I think it was. Anyway, we do a lot of vehicle convoy practice, where we use all 3 bands or one of them. We've extensively radio mapped this area to find out where the blind spots are with the radio reception, and they do exist. But it still gives us better coverage than cell phone. The thing is, it's still legal to talk on these radios while you're driving, whereas in Australia, unless you've got a Bluetooth attachment, cell phones or mobile phones, it's illegal to use them while you're driving. The other thing is, when we're doing vehicle convoy practices, the passenger seat in the front here, that's the navigator. That's the person with the maps and all that sort of thing. He also operates the radios. I'm talking to the rest of the vehicles in the convoy. So there's a little bit on that anyway. I won't go too much more into it. We also use handheld radios like these ones. That's a UHF 40 channel. 5-watt lithium-ion battery pack, and the good thing about these is I can recharge it with a docking station off the 12-volt system on this vehicle. You get about 2 days standby time on listening mode only. Again, it's programmable through the keypad, which makes it very easy. I got these in from overseas because if the shit hits the fan, I can program other channels in outside the CB band, so you won't get other. It reduces the risk of people listening into your conversation on the CB or citizen band. Much the same as that one there. So something to think about. We rely a lot on these out in the bush. In fact, on this side here at our retreat, I've got the ball down the bottom. I leave this handheld radio up with somebody up the top here, and they let me know when the tank is filled. The water tank is filled from pumping, but I'll go into that later on. So that's a little bit on mobile communications. I find them essential. Yes, it's modern technology. Good for short to medium term, as long as you've got some form of powering it off the vehicles or something like that. I can also hook up an external antenna to these radios if I wanted to give me a bit of extra range. I've also used this vehicle as a mobile relay station to extend the range of the medium and short wave, and in some cases even the 11 metre CB band. We're in a fairly hilly area here, a lot of mountains and stuff, so you get to the high points, you can extend the range using it as a manual relay station. So that's pretty related. I won't go into too much more on it, but you don't have to go to all the expensive setting it up like this. I did it because, as I said, we rely on a lot. I wanted reliable, dependable gear. These little handhelds here are very reliable, quite robust. Yes, you get a short range. You can get the VHF version of this too. Get them in from overseas for under $100 Australian. You try and buy one of these in Australia from a retailer, you're paying upwards of $300 to $400 for them. Not so much the same model, but the same capability, and usually find that they're pre-programmed anyway according to federal regulations. This one is programmed to federal regulations, but I have the option of putting other frequencies in if the shit hits the fan, because, well, hey, it doesn't really matter then, does it? Alright folks, that's a little bit on mobile communications. The other Toyota I have, the red one you might have seen in the videos, is fitted out with the same gear. And the base station at home. All the radios are compatible with each other with channel allocation and so on. And the same with the base station down the road. So something to think about. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but it does give you a distinct advantage. If you've got some nasty people out there that are using the UHF CB radios, which is more the norm these days, than the 11 metre or the VHF, then it'll give you a good heads up as to who's out there, and if you know a little bit about radios, how close they are, what they're doing and that sort of thing. I guess these days radios, compared to the latest iPhones and cell phones and mobile phones and all that sort of thing, is old technology compared to that. But one thing we learned during the flooding crisis earlier this year was that the civilian phone infrastructure failed. That's both the cell phone and the landline. And at home, the only real-time information I could get was off the radios on the base station, primarily the 11 metre band. There's a lot of operators around my area, and some on the UHF. So that's something else to think about too, folks, is even in national disasters, these radios are very handy to find, to get up-to-date real-time information from other operators around the area, particularly when the civilian telecommunications infrastructure fails, as it did, and as most of us know, we've been through natural disasters, I should say, and even national emergency situations. We all know what happened overseas when they have a little play around with the internet and censor it, and cell phone networks and that sort of stuff. So it's just something to think about. As I said, yeah, it's modern technology. I'm all for it. Integrate it with old technology. Kid will still learn your basic skills, but to me this gives us the edge. It just gives us that little bit more advantage. So there it is, folks. Thanks very much.